Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside, both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top here!
Oh my god! Oh. Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
Are you spending a lot of time looking for setups and struggling for faster lap times? Are you tired of searching online for answers? Would you like to get setups, analysis and tutorials from some of the best sim racers in the world like Ralph Alla, Mitchell de Jong, Martin Krunker, Josh Rogers and many more? If so, virtualracingschool.com is the answer you've been looking for. VRS data packs provide hot laps from our professional coaches for you to analyse and replicate. They provide tutorials that walk you through the fastest laps and what the pros did to achieve the best times. And they provide the setups you need to ensure your car is competitive in both oval and road racing. If you're ready to get faster and reach more podiums sooner than later, just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a free account today.
There are just some circuits which just stand the test of time. Formerly a street track that has been around for many a year, this now repurposed circuit has all the hallmarks of legend. It has itself brilliant sectors which challenge all variants of vehicle, and there is no one single place that can put itself on any calendar of any series at any time in the world. It's the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps here with us at SimSpeed TV for your Dallara Formula IR Round 3 of the championship. We are here at the wonderful circuit here of Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and all the hallmarks are in for the making. I'm Jake Sperry, joined alongside by Scott Fountain here as we get ourselves ready and waiting around this 7.004 kilometre 21 turn behemoth that once again proves itself to be one of the very top places in the world. Let's take this opportunity to bring us down to earth and see where we are with Google Earth around this majestic circuit here, just a stone's throw away from the French border and Liège, Bastogne-Liège, the route that finds itself all the way through as we get things all sorted out. We'll have a virtual racing school replay of exactly where we are right now. Exactly, we're here, moving on down towards this wonderful Francorchamps village as we go on down, and this is just a wonderful piece of circuit. Fonty, you couldn't make this stuff up even if you tried to build fantasy. There is a legendary aura around this place.
Yes, there certainly is. I've had the pleasure of actually going to watch the 24-hour at Spa, and I can tell you now it's an incredible circuit in real life. And yeah, it takes a long time to walk around, I can tell you that much. But yeah, really cool to see these virtual race cars around here tonight, and it should be a good race.
Certainly should be, and with these Dallara iR-01s, with the ability to have the engine that they do, which screams around this place, we'll have an opportunity to have a little look at how a lap is constructed around the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. It'll be here and gone in the blink of an eye. Keep an eye out as we get a little look at the Virtual Racing School hot lap that we got going through thanks to Martin Kroenke and the Virtual Racing School. For data packs, head to virtualracingschool.com. Down on the brakes, second gear, 80 Ks before getting back up onto the power one more time. And then you've got this famous Eau Rouge Radion section. You can see you're over 312 Ks. Small lift you have to go through this section. Still not enough grip to hold it through that right, but now onto the Camel. This is where you really get that test of speed. Uphill all the way. Doesn't feel like it from the angle that you've got, but you're at 327 Ks before flicking it through Lake Coombe into Malmedy corner. A little bit of correction for Kroenke as he had to go through. Down the hill, Bruchel's corner here. You're always fighting against gravity. That inside right tyre always wants to lock on that inside. And then you've got Jackie Hicks, the former corner, without a name. Fourth gear there, 190 Ks before back on the power into this technical middle sector. Double apex left of Pouon taking at 275. He's accelerating through this section, which is almost unheard of. That's just how much downforce these vehicles have through the right and left that come along of the Fania chicane. Always trying to fight. Maybe could have got a little bit earlier to the apex there. Kroenke could have done, as now through that next right of the campus corner. It's the campus on the inside before you head through Stavelot corner here, and now he's still 280 Ks coming out of there, now heading towards Curve of Paul Frere. It is frightening how quick you can go. Blanchimont should be a doddle, I say, through here. Small lift, 320 kilometers an hour. Got so much grip in the car before you jam on the brakes for that final chicane, which leads to that very short drive to the start-finish line. Very easy to spin the rears through this section, but that is a lap around this majestic track, as now those first times will be looking to come down in on the board. It's Tim Delisle who finds himself at the top, 144.5, and doing mightily well at the moment in what is the Positive Sim Racing car.
Yep, fantastic first lap there, and just have Thomas Simon beat him there by 0.4 of a second. Great to see Cedric Beale also out there. He must be on his first lap. Expect him to make his way up the order. No Ben Fuller tonight.
No Ben Fuller tonight, so that's going to leave the door a little bit open. It will be one of his 4 drop rounds, you would feel, here at Spa-Francorchamps, maybe looking for a little bit of easier time of things right now. Let's take a little look at the championship standings at this stage as we keep an eye out on where everyone is sitting up. And the big surprise is that it's Jacob Reed who takes the championship lead after 2 rounds of racing here. Ben Fuller second, Andreas Henkel in third place. Jacob Reed comes into this race tonight with the number 18 on his number. He's not got the highest I rating in the field, not by a long way, but his consistency with his pace has been second to none. That's why he's at the very top.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Fantastic to see someone with so much of a lower I rating than some of his competitors right up there fighting for the championship lead. And yeah, consistency is key, and that's why we've seen him sitting at the top there. So I'm sure we will see Ben Fuller back with us again next week. Most of the time, everyone will be at this particular circuit because it's one of most people's favourite circuits on the service. Certainly one of mine, and yeah, should be a great race, I reckon.
It's a notoriously difficult circuit for track limits, as well as Danilo San Filippo jumps up into third place on a 144.812. Tim Delisle crossed and was just a few hundredths of a second down on Tamas Shimon as Jacob Reed improves up into fourth position, 44.853. Focusing on the number 17 machine right now. This is Andreas Henkel, third in the championship, making a drive for the line. It's only a 45.6 though, which is good enough for 11th place. But if for 2 rounds of racing are anything to go by, it's worth noting that it doesn't matter where you qualify in this series. There are traditionally incidents when it comes to what are traditionally, for a virtual car like this, incredibly tough beasts to tame and master.
Well, you're exactly right. Just getting them off the line is the biggest challenge. At round 1, we saw at Watkins was yeah, cars everywhere. Once that second power band kicked in, very hard to control. So I'm sure we've had a few more weeks of practicing. We won't see as many people make the mistake off the line, but yeah, certainly keep an eye out for that one.
We certainly will. Here is Cedric Beale as Omar Bahar jumps up into third place, 44.773, 660 down. Beale then makes a drive to the line. That's a 2:15.4 for him. So that would be an outlap then attempt as he looks to go through. In fact, it was a 45 flat, as it just got updated. So that's 7th place for Cedric Beale making that charge. Thomas Simon feels that there is nothing to prove over the course of that lap, pulls it away. It feels like he's got it all wrapped up from competitors behind, with Tim Delisle not having a lap. James Chester's in the 20, up to P6, 44.9. We'll be happy. Pablo Suarez, we keep an eye out on at the moment, with 30 seconds remaining in qualifying. He'll have time to finish the lap.
Oh, he's not finishing the lap. He's going for a ride through the pit lane.
He certainly is there, Fonzie, so he will make sure that he gets the last little element of practice in. Jacob Oberslack is out there on the track, but he is not going to be able to settle lap time. He is going to be out of time to get himself over the line. So the grid is going to stack up then as follows. It is Tamas Simon who will be on pole position right now with a 44.112. And how confusing. The 2 and the 1 are opposite positions. Second position, Tim Delisle in the positive sim racing outfit. Omar Bahar and Danilo Sanfilippo get the second row. It's those two at the top, 6/10 clear of anybody else. Jacob Reed starts this one in 5th, has James Chesters for company there in 6th position, with 7th place going to Jacob Swiderski as we flick over the page, hopefully in the next couple of moments. And 8th position there, Cedric Beale. Marco Sanfilippo a little bit down in 9th place, with Philip Schiff alongside in 10th. Row 6 holding Rashad Craig, who looked pretty good last time out when we saw racing action. Brandon Powell there in 12th position holding the number 24. Then it's Andreas Henkel, who finds himself 13th, with Anthony Catt there in 14th. Patrick Latuve and Michael Farbach make up row number 8. Cal Young and Adam Cohn are 17th and 18th. The last set times, Jan Brezina and Pablo Suarez. The next drivers are all going to be set up by iRacing. So Jan Hoffman starts ahead of Jacob Oberslack, David Sluita, and then Radek Sikora makes the 24 drivers who are ready to race here today. It's going to be a very important battleground, 25 laps that they have available to them today, and I'm sure that everyone is getting themselves raring to go as we all look to battle on for this. So everyone is going to be trying to focus hard on exactly where they can find themselves that push forward, where they can find those times up onto the grid, then leaving it late where both Delisle and Simon, they're trying to save as much tyre temp as they possibly can, not being stationary on the starting grid. And we do just wait for one driver, I do believe, in the back who is looking to get onto the grid. That driver is Jan Brezina, who now gets onto the grid, and that puts everybody into motion. So the lights procedure will now start. Barney the flagman's over there on the right-hand side, left-hand side, as we see things right now. There's the green, and 25 laps start immediately. Horrible start for Tim Delisle. That is going to bring Bahar in, and there's troubles in the middle as they all try and get through. Beale, I do believe it is, who's not happy. 2 involved. Beale, again, not finding luck. Marco Sanfilippo, the other then, caught up lap 1. Even before turn number 1. Everyone else is okay as they make Eau Rouge and Radion then for the very first time. Simon leading from Bahar, who's jumped up to 2nd. Reed in 3rd. Danilo Sanfilippo 4th. And Tim Delisle already down to 5th. Here comes Omar Bahar for the race lead then as he tries to go around the outside in towards Lacombe. But look at the braking prowess then from Tamas Simon.
Yeah, just watching Jacob Swiderski. He's moving his way through the field. Managed to get past 2. Oh, as he just collects another car through there. But I think he's got away with it. Not too sure who that was. I think it was Henkel who went around, potentially. Adam Conn actually was the car that went around there. So, yes, good start for Jacob Swiderski, up to P7.
Yeah, there's been an issue as well for Cal Young also, so drivers getting caught out then in the early proceedings. Schiff out, Cat out, Young is out as well, and it's not quite ideal at this moment. So we've got Tamas Simon leading here, Omar Bahar in 2nd, it's Jacob Reed 3rd, and Tim Delisle then in 4th position. They're already starting to form those packs after the incidents we have seen on the opening lap then, as they've tried to push through, as Everyone looks to try and sort out their positions on the run through to Blanchimont right now. Jacob Reed, championship leader, under pressure from the very quick Tim Delisle, who can't get there. Great braking there from one Mr. Jacob Reed. He's able to stave off the challenge for now, but there's still a long way to go in this sort of race. So there is Delisle trying to push away through, keeping an eye out through that screen, making sure he's got opportunities to attack as much as he can. This is all about settling down into a rhythm at this point.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And good little battle here for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. These guys really getting amongst it. And yeah, they've separated themselves out at the moment. But I guarantee coming into the bus stop here, we're going to have cars going everywhere.
But you can see too wide, too deep as they figure it all out. That's Rashad Craig on the outside, Farbark then on the inside, trying to hold position. But look at that effort from Rashad Craig. He gets it done. Henkel getting one done on Brandon Powell. Wants a little look down the inside. And behind that now, trying to have a look, was Adam Cohn. He was not going to get anywhere near that one then, as Henkel falls back into line, heading through the middle sector of the lap in the Leighton House-inspired livery. Of course, a very, very beautiful car back in the day, that Formula One Leighton House, which was designed, of course, by the legendary Adrian Newey. As now the push comes along then. Brandon Powell, the one under pressure then in the early goings. 5 out on the opening lap. And now more dramas potentially on the horizon, as everyone looks to hope that they have the best run possible. Speaking of runs, Tim Delisle's got a good one.
Yes, he certainly does. He looks like he's going to make a move here. 0.1 of a second behind. Is he going to get... Oh, the defensive line's been taken there by Jacob Reed.
We've got a replay of the start here as well, so we'll keep an eye out on what happens with number 5, Marco Sanfilippo, off the getaway. Second phase of acceleration is normally the key to seeing where it goes wrong, so he gets a good little getaway, and it's Beale who goes straight around. Bystander. There is one Mr. Marco Sanfilippo, easily done. And then you got another one caught up. Anthony Catt is secondary collateral as they go through. Now, the one thing is shift. The other one is going to be what happens to Cal Young, because there's 2 separate incidents, one coming up the Kemmel for Cal Young. So here we go. Tries to move himself over to the outside, and you can see Suarez here making a charge, just taps the rear, and just like that, round you go. That's how easy the accident happens. Here's what goes on wrong then, just in front with one Mr. Philip Schiff. He loses it all on his own, and he gets collected from behind by, I believe, that would have been Obraslak, who maybe ran into the back potentially there, or maybe Jacob Swiderski. I think it was Swiderski who did. So that was all of the issues. Meanwhile, through all of this, Jacob Reed has found himself a way through Omar Bahar. He is up now into 2nd position, Fonty, and has really started to put his foot down and say, if I can't win these races, I'm sure as God's earth right now, going to try and make sure it's podiums all the way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was watching the pass take place. It was into the bus stop. And, yeah, nice move up the inside. Omar gave him plenty of room. And, yep, they will battle on. So if these guys work together, they'll be able to catch on to the back of Thomas Simon. 2.3 seconds up the road he is. So they really need to work together. Oh, he's overdone it, but he's going to get away with it. And
he's got to slow down, though. He's got to serve it before the start-finish line. And there you go. That's how much time you lose if you're Jacob Reed, because he now drops himself behind Sanfilippo, Danilo Sanfilippo, behind Tim Delisle, and behind Omar Bahar as well, who regained 2nd. So much for them working together. Tamas Simon, 3.2 seconds clear at the moment at the front of the pack, looking for his 2nd win of the season here when it comes to Friday night with SimSpeed TV.
Yep, tell you what, Jacob Reed will be really frustrated about that one, and we're seeing a move going on here. Tim Delisle has made it. Oh, how has he? No, he's been turned around. That's he'll be very disappointed about that. He's going to take the short road out. He will get definitely a slowdown penalty for this, so expect him to drop back even further.
Well, let's catch it on the Virtual Racing School replay. Omar Bahar calls netcode on it because he didn't get an incident point, he says, from that little hit. And you can see Bahar goes side by side right now with Tim Delisle. Delisle goes for the corner and they just tap on turn in. I'm sorry, Omar, but that looks like it's on you day and night. going on through that one there. That was just the smallest little tap through the corner, which unsettled the rear and made the car go around. But it's so easy to unsettle the rears in these sorts of vehicles. They've got so much power that you don't know how to put it down.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that's done nothing but open up the gap for our race leader. 5.5 seconds between Omar and Tomas. So as long as Tomas stays out of trouble, has a good pit stop, then yeah, the race is his, mate.
Well, it looks like it's as sure as houses at the moment as the battle continues here. Danilo Sanfilippo there, and all of a sudden, the pack continues. Jacob Reed and now James Chester's on the back of this one for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. Swiderski there in the background in 6th place will definitely want in as they make their way through the Eau Rouge hairpin. These laps go by so very quickly around this place, and especially when it comes to these sorts of vehicles. It's all about speed, speed, and speed right now as they all make that charge up. And watch how powerful and potent the draft is up the Camel. They don't get a DRS system here in these sorts of vehicles. They're just naturally good at finding a way through to try and make overtakes. A look from Danilo Sanfilippo does not yield a reward.
Yeah, there we go. He certainly pulled right up to the back of him, but didn't quite have it, and Omar closed the door on him.
Meanwhile, further back, it's Brandon Powell who's made a move, has jumped up into 9th place, has got by Andreas Henkel there at the Lacombe chicane, and has done very well, but they have allowed a few friends to the party. Patrick Latouve, after his crash at Hockenheim last week, will definitely want back in. Michael Farbach just pushing a little bit too far wide there through Jackie X. That'll be one of the 17 instant points that he has to chalk off his list.
Yeah, exactly right, and it's so easy to get them around this place. We've got 25 laps, so you're going to have to average less than 1 a lap to be able to not go and get a drive-through, which I'm sure we will see a few drivers having to do that towards the end of the race. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see on average how many people actually get incident points or what the total score is.
Oh, you could see that Henkel lifted there behind one Mr. Brandon Powell. Latouve just said thank you very much and picked that one off. No problem. How late on the brakes do you want to go, Andreas? He'll have to go straight on or try and find a way back. That's going to put out of line then Michael Farbach with some great heads-up driving. Holds place in the pack. Now goes all the way back to Oberslack then as they try and figure out a move. So that one then starting to all form up once again then. This is the scrap going on for 9th place on back, and it stretches all the way to 15th place.
There we go. We've got Sanfilippo is closing. He's gone to the outside of Omar Bahar. Oh, gives him a little bit of a tap there in the back just to let him know that he's there.
It wasn't necessarily a tap, but more rather a big jamming of the brakes. There's some side-by-side as Latouve goes around the outside, followed and shadowed there going through the corner. What a wonderful bit of driving by Michael Farbach to make that one happen going through that chicane. So wonderfully done there in what I would say is a Mad Cow-inspired livery. That's a blast from the past. We haven't seen them for a long while. But Jacob Reed here is finding himself back into positions, trying to move forward. He's got Chesters and Swiderski for company, but he can't afford to sit and wait too long. He's got to stay with Danilo Sanfilippo there in the Palermo livery.
Certainly does. And meanwhile, Tomas Simon is extending his gap in the race lead, 7.8 seconds in front after 6 laps. So he's got some incredible pace on that thing. He's a whole second faster than everybody else. Tim Dallara is the only person who's getting anywhere near the pace of him, and he's sitting back in 7th position. So yeah, expect him. We've seen a couple of mistakes from him so far, but expect him to potentially make his way further up if he can stay out of trouble.
Speaking of staying out of trouble, battle continues then as Henkel can't quite find the way through. Delisle did get through that last lap over Richard Craig. There was Suarez looking every which way to try and get through, but they can't afford to sit and wait too long in these sorts of battles. Tamas Simon with the fastest lap then of the race so far, but Henkel's going to go and try and have a look, as is actually now an attack from Jacob Swiderski, who gets the move done then on James Chesters up at Leicum. So he gets a move done. He nicely sorts one out as now Latuve and Farback just fighting in front of this pack right now. That's Suarez going to the inside of Adam Cohn, trying to get the move done. And it seems like the Minardi's past the Leighton house.
Yes, certainly has. Great battles going on throughout this mid-pack. And, yeah, they're certainly not giving each other too much room out there.
Well, it might not be much room, but it's all about keeping themselves steady. Now, there is Rashad Craig at this stage. He's not fallen off the back of Tim Delisle with any real worry or poise or concern at this stage. And the real key that we're seeing from Rashad Craig right now is, if I can stay within range, just struggled a little bit there coming out of Stavelot corner. The issue is, if he can stay within a second, he's good. If he's outside of a second, then Delisle is going to absolutely romp on forward, trying to catch drivers in front. It's close again for second place as Omar Bahar has himself mirrors full of that Danilo Sanfilippo Palermo-inspired livery, trying to find that move, find that position, and effectively get best of the rest at the moment in this race.
Yeah, you're certainly right. I think we'll see definitely something going on up here into the bus stop for 0.4 of a second back at the moment. He'll make that up pretty quickly.
Oh, Latuve, oh my God. Gone straight into the back of Farback at turn one. And that will bring an end to the race for Michael Farback in what is a very... well, he keeps going, but a big incident there as they now take the rise.
There we go. He's got it done. So Sanfilippo has managed to pull off that move. Bit of side-by-side action there, and he's already starting to pull a nice, decent gap away.
He is! Oh, there's more contact there. Adam Cohn into the back of Andreas Henkel. A lot of issues happening. Another spinner then up at Eau Rouge Radion there in the background. I think that would have been Jan Hoffman in trouble. So Cohn's beached it then on that inside. He'll have to take a tow. He's out. So 3 incidents in the spaces of about 3 corners.
Yeah, it shows how difficult these cars are to drive, doesn't it? I haven't driven them yet, but yeah, certainly look like absolute beasts to try and tame on the racetrack, that's for sure.
Well, that was the first hit, a massive hit going on forward. We then will take a look at what happened to Jan Hoffman there in, I believe, the Vortex sim racing machine. Oh my God, in front. That was the car getting away and finding the wall, and that was definitely a retirement there for one Mr. Michael Farback. Then up the hill, just a little bit of a wiggle, back steps out then, and can you save it? Yes, you can. So that will be just a spin and get yourself back going again. But then you've got this between Henkel and Cohn, and this is Henkel just out breaking himself. Yes, there's netcode in the incident, but Adam Cohn finding himself with nowhere to go. They can see, bang, huge netcode.
Yeah, huge netcode. That's the disappointing thing of racing a driver that's potentially on the other side of the world. Sometimes network connection isn't quite what it needs to be, and we get cars hitting each other but not really hitting each other.
Great move, Omar Bahar back then into second place, and now look at that, Danilo Sanfilippo suddenly finds himself defending, and a big checkup down the train. Nope, you're staying put there as Jacob Reed and Jacob Swiderski now find themselves through. Both Jacobs trying to move up then and gain place and find themselves in the podium positions in this one. We're on lap 9 here of 25. The fastest lap currently set by Tamas Shimon, who is dominating here at this moment in time over everybody else right now. And now you've got to start thinking about strategy window here, Fonty, because short laps here, 25 of them, you don't get a large window.
No, you're exactly right. You don't get a large window. And, yeah, these cars just continue to go faster and faster and faster as the fuel consumption goes down. So that gap has opened up for our race lead up to 11.7 seconds.
Oh, no.
There we
Bang,
go.
netcode, hard into the wall, spinner as well. Reed and Delisle going for troubles as they go through. So Jacob Reed up and over. Tim Delisle having his own incident side by side with James Chesters as they made contact as well. So it's all about disasters. Jacob Reed, again, huge netcode. I had a little look at everybody's pings going into the start of this race, and almost everyone was up over 100 as they came in. Big hit, hard into the wall. Jacob Reed, championship leader, in trouble. And I tell you what, Dukes of Hazzard style. Bang! There's the horrible, horrible hit. And there's Delisle. Look at how he almost goes under him.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He almost did go underneath him. That was a very, very intense crash. And yeah, you'd be a sore boy if that was in real life. I can tell you that much.
Tell you what, that had shades of Luciano Berti in 2001. That level of crash, the way that one went. Still on second and third now, so Danilo Sanfilippo and Omar Bahar having their race. Jake Swiderski now in fourth place. It's Rashad Craig who's actually lost the place now to James Chester's fifth and sixth position, but Chester's has just run wide in the background then, so this is going to allow Rashad Craig down the inside then at Puon and gets the move done. Just about slipping through a one-car width gap. But Chesters ain't giving this one up here. He's trying to get a little look back, but he's not going to get there. Tim Delisle, who just spun on the back of this one as well, and he'll be counting his lucky stars that he's still in a race.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Just looking at this battle back here for ninth position, as we're seeing Patrick Altuve looking all over the back of Pablo Suarez. And he wants to get that move done, but not quite finding at this stage. Maybe along this big long straight we will see it happen. Also, looks like Tim Delisle is these guys getting very hot and heavy here.
Certainly are. Three-car scrap at the moment. Rashad Craig, James Chesters, Tim Delisle, all there together. It's going to be a case now of trying to keep yourself all poised. 17 drivers left in this race right now as they hit the brakes, go through the big right-hander and try and work out where they need to be, or maybe less now at this moment in time. Everyone battling for a really strong position at Eau Rouge and Radion, and we are starting to get our first pitters. Jan Brezina and Patrick Altuve have decided to come in then on lap 11. Here comes Delisle searching for the inside. It's going to be an easy lift off from James Chesters. He's not racing Tim Delisle, and Delisle's trying to go for 2 for 1 here. Around the outside, it would have to be at the second part of Lacom. Not going to get there just yet on Rashad Craig. He knows how to hold the car in station.
Yeah, certainly right. That was fantastic. He did nearly pull off that second maneuver there, but had to defend pretty quickly as well from James Chester.
Yep, so that was a good battle. In the meanwhile, then there is Altuve out of the pits, 31.5 seconds lane time. He had 7.2 stationary in the box. Danilo Sanfilippo did manage to find a way back through as well, up through on Omar Bahar, back up to second place. 7.1 seconds, there goes Omar Bahar for a half spin. Keeps it out of trouble, but that's just the minutiae that you have to deal with. Back steps out, somehow saves it. There's your race leader, Tamas Shimon. Look at him, he's already countering away. He's probably thinking what he's going to have for dinner tonight.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. He's just sitting there cruising, setting fastest lap after fastest lap. And, yeah, going pretty good, really.
I mean, it's almost like it's life on Millionaires Row at this stage, the way that Tamas Shimon is driving. He looks like gold dust at the moment, packaged up into one driver. Still, that battle continues, though, as Rashad Craig has lost the place out now to Tim Delisle, who has moved into the top 5 for the first time in a pretty long time in this race. As you've got Rashad Craig trying to stay there, so is James Chesters right now. Big, large gap to the group behind. 3-car scrap as well, going through the last horse hairpin. As now here comes Rashad Craig, looking to try and get this one back, trying to open up the move and gain the place. And Tim Delisle making sure I am quicker. You're not going to get by me as they stay line astern. But Powell, meanwhile, down a little bit further back. Well, that's Pablo Suarez who's going to find himself a way through. Jacob Oberslack sitting there waiting.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's waiting patiently for these guys to potentially come together, but he's going to get it done. There we go. Move done by Oberslack, and he's going to move himself into 9th position. So, yeah, good job there by Oberslack.
We are in the pit stop cycle. He is up technically 13 places at the moment, as that was Andreas Henkel coming out then of the pits. But we focus still on Rashad Craig, trying to keep himself pretty much honest, I would say, with Tim Delisle at this stage, who looks like he's probably the only driver who could really challenge Tamas Shimon in terms of outright pace in qualifying. Race pace, though, for the Club Oz NZ driver doesn't look like it has been exactly the same in terms of this push and effort. So now it's all about focus then as we get ourselves into position. Still none of the leaders deciding to make that call. They'll probably leave it as late as they can. There's a spinner, though, in a little bit of trouble. That's Andreas Henkel, who's just out of the pit.
Yeah, there we go. So, these guys don't put on a new set of tyres, do they? They just get fuel, don't they?
Pretty sure they'll take a set of tyres if they have them available, which would definitely give them a lot of help. So maybe cold tyres being the big issue there for Andreas Henkel trying to push forward. So more to come on the horizon as they try and figure out what they need to do at this stage as they take that charge once again up through the Kemmel Straight, through the Ardennes Forest. There is your race leader, though, Tamas Simon. You can see his times there, 44.599, his fastest, 44.587. Tells you all you need to know about how quickly he is pacing around this circuit. We are 13 laps in. He is 16 seconds clear of Danilo Sanfilippo. Big difference there. 46.5 meets 44.5. That's 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm just riding on board with him, and haven't ridden in the cockpit view. And I tell you what, it seemed very, very fast. These cars are very smooth and just stick to the track like glue. As we're coming in to the bus stop at the end of the lap.
So into the end of the lap, and another lap then for Tamas Simon. Back into the pits then goes Andreas Henkel. I wonder if this is a straight drive through the pits then for incident points. It says number 17 on his car because there'll be 17 incident points that he's probably got himself all caught up in as he now continues to push on forward. Now, there will be some worries here for the pace of Danilo Sanfilippo because that is Jacob Swiderski just behind as in comes Delisle and Craig in for their stop.
Yep, there we go. See how these guys go. See if anyone manages to get past the other one.
Battle of Crews, you can see they're down at only 60 kilometers an hour on the pit lane. It's a very slow pit lane here, of course, used to equalize general times. Rashad Craig has a much earlier box in comparison to Delisle. It has that secondary box and will have a much easier time of things. There is Swiderski going through Les Combes, and he is right behind. There goes Rashad Craig, but it's equal off the stops then, and that will be a very nice getaway for one Tim Delisle.
Yep, fantastic stop for both of them there. Absolutely identical times in the pit lane on the box, 8.3 seconds. So very well calculated by both those guys.
And there in the Jaguar-inspired livery is Radek Sikora, who is in there for a stop. Now, we have had a change on track in the meanwhile, and it's this battle right here because Pablo Suarez has lost the place to Jacob Oberslack. Brandon Powell on the back of this one, just watching, I think might be the right place for him to be at this moment in time, as we've also got Jacob Sluiter into the lane from Club West, which is in the United States of America. So he's got a little bit of work to do at the moment, just trying to make sure that he gets himself nicely done. He'll be put a lap down by the race leader at this stage, who is, of course, Tamas Simon, who is doing a wonderful job at this stage. I wonder, and well, wonder no more. In comes Danilo Sanfilippo for his stop, and he took such an aggressive line to get himself into pits. Omar Bahar follows.
There we go. Are they going to be able to get an advantage on each other? If we saw what we saw just between Delisle and Craig, let's see that again. They are a lot closer in their pit stalls on this one.
And there you can see Brandon Powell not getting himself into the right position to attack Pablo Suarez. Oberslack coming through. Now, look at the line Omar Bahar tries to take coming out of the pits. He wants to be aggressive straight out of the box, but it won't matter. Danilo Sanfilippo doing well. They'll both come out in clean air. They will both come out ahead of Tim Delisle and Rashad Craig. That will be Jan Hoffman down there into the pits as Oberslack finally gets himself off and away. But here comes another move as, there you go, Brandon Powell finding an easy pass on Pablo Suarez.
Yeah, fantastic pass. Set up well early there. Didn't need to put too much effort under brakes. And already pulling a nice gap there from Suarez.
Yeah, absolutely doing a good job. So Suarez then trying to keep himself in play out of the pits. Then that's Jan Hoffman, 7.5 5 seconds then in the stop for the Vortex Sim Racing driver. I've had so many great drives come through. In comes race leader, though, Tamas Shimon, to make that stop. In terms of Vortex Sim Racing, they've had drivers in there like Justin Brunner, who has been absolutely sensational at a pro level back in the past. But now you start to focus at the likes of where they put themselves in. Will the likes of Swiderski now follow into the pits here on lap 15? Absolutely, you betcha. He comes in as well. The number 15 pitting on lap 15 in for that stop. Chesters will also come down into the pits, and I'm pretty sure Tamas Shimon should be off any second now.
Yep, there we go. Just running on board. Swiderski through the stop and see how it looks from an in-car view. And will he manage to get himself out in front of his competition? Very fast stop for these guys.
Well, there is the competition coming down the pit straight right now. So if Swiderski wants to go, he's got to go quickly. He'll only just now get himself to the marker. Sanfilippo going to go through turn 1, but remember who's got the pace coming off the corner. Danio's going to have this one, but quickly tuck yourself in the draft, Jacob. You got a chance to get by Sanfilippo on the run up towards Lake Coombe on the Kemmel Straight. Great how close they can run to Eau Rouge and Radion, and now here comes the chance here for second position overall. Tucks into the toe, has to go the long way around as Jacob Swiderski to pick off this move. And you know what? Danilo Sanfilippo is going to fight it every stage of the way under the brakes. Just about door. Contact between them is netcode, and into the wall goes Danilo Sanfilippo, who will be mighty frustrated.
Oh, yes, that was a major netcode if you've ever seen one. Very disappointing because that was great battle there, side-by-side action. They gave each other plenty of room, and, yep, unfortunate.
And that is the end of both Sanfilippo brothers, and you can see just how much the netcode has really affected this sort of racing here today. They go through, bang, there's a little bit there, and there's the hit that turns it all around. So a very nice and comfortable move. Then
oh, there we go. Swiderski, he's off.
And he's got someone with him as well. That, I believe, is Omar Bahar. The two have come together then. Bahar has run straight into the back of Swiderski, and in the space of what is half a lap, Swiderski involved in 2 incidents, and now 3 drivers who are all fighting for the podium are out. Tim Delisle will move up now into second position. A massive hit. You're going to watch this as they go through this lap. It's just the case of Swiderski. Back end steps out. He tries to save it. Where do you go through the smoke if you're Omar Bahar?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's, yeah, disappointing. Those tyres must have just been still quite cold, considering it only just come out of the pits after that stop. So, yeah, very disappointing. We've got, God, half of the field's nearly out.
Yeah, exactly. Tim Delisle's just gone over the radio and he's gone, I'm back into P2. What on earth's going on here? I've got no pace. On for the podium. These drivers wouldn't have thought it, as Powell and Suarez have both come to the pits. Here comes Rashad Craig looking for the move and getting himself up onto the podium. Look at them as they start to charge and they start to think about the placing they need. It's going to be easy on the inside as a little bit of cloud cover comes over the circuit. A nice, comfortable move then from Rashad Craig, who moves himself up into the podium.
So I'm just looking at the tyre choice. Suarez, so showing on my overlays, he's come out on a set of mediums, which well, I wasn't aware.
That's going to be very interesting then to have an eye out on. So everyone who is anyone has been on the hard or on the white wall compound hard tire. So this is a call from Pablo Suarez to try and get himself there on the yellow walled medium compound tire. Now, one of the things that I'd probably look at here, Fonty, is how long can you go on tire life? Because with just how much torque you can put into the wheels on those compounds, I'm pretty sure those medium and soft compound tires are ones which absolutely just get eaten alive at every track you go to.
Yeah, well, we've got 7 laps left in this race, and he made a pit stop. Where is he? So only just made his pit stop now. So are they going to last 7 laps? Is he going to be able to pull down the 16 seconds that he needs to catch up the car in front?
16 seconds, I doubt it, but he'll be wanting every sort of action to get himself away from the likes of Brandon Powell just behind. Craig and Chester's still that gap then as it is. Half a second when they cross the line, so Chester's will have a chance to close in. I'm not sure it's going to be enough for a move, but watch how strong this draft is going to be. You can see he's just eating up time, and it's just a case of I'll lift off, I'll wait. I don't need to go for a rash move just yet. We're not on the last lap of this race right now, and so once more it is a waiting game. Lead gap though 28 seconds for Tamas Simon, as now Latuve going side by side with Jan Brezina, as well as this one here, Brandon Powell. He's back through on Suarez on the mediums.
Yeah, there we go. So medium time maybe not working as well as he would like.
Oh, what a battle, but out on the outside. Jan Brezina's going to have to give that one up to Patrick Latuve, who gets the move sorted and jumps himself then, or maintains, I should say, 8th place in this race. We have 12 drivers running on the leading lap, and only Sluiter is 1 lap down at this stage, which shows you just how much of a race this has been, all about attrition once again in terms of this one. Still 5th and 6th, Powell and Suarez looking pretty punchy at the moment, but they also have to be careful because Oberslack not a million miles away.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Doing a fantastic job there. 1.3 seconds behind. So he could easily... He's got good pace at this stage in the race too.
Certainly does. And, well, that's going to be interesting as Latuve is over the radio, and he's not happy with Jan Brezina, who has gone for something, I would say, incredibly aggressive through Blanchimont corner, which is a huge track extend to get the move.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm going to see that on a replay here. And that's exactly happened.
Well, you're going to see this here. Comes through Blanchimont right now. He's setting it up, goes to the outside, and you know what? I'm just going to take the big track extend line, gain an advantage, and take the place. So I've got the incident points to go and use that line, so I might as well.
Yeah, I don't know if in real life you'd get away with that one just as easy as that. But I'm sure.
Oh, Suarez! Bang! In the wall. Pablo Suarez is out then of the race. Just like that. It's a horrible thing. He's just got a kick of oversteer coming through. He was trying to get by Powell, gets himself on the power, and if you wanted any idea of why the medium tyres are not the choice to go forward, there you found the prime example.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm just watching the replay here to see what has happened here.
So he just goes through the left.
Went around on him so quickly too. Just didn't even get any indication of it going around. It was just, before you knew it, it was facing the other way. So it's fair to say that you will not see the medium compound tyre coming out very often.
Or at least not in this iteration of the build of the Dallara Formula IR at this stage. This is a monster of a car. Still Craig and Chester's in position. We have had a change, though, for 10th place in this race, and it will be a bit more now for 9th place because Radek Sikora has lost the place to Jan Hoffman there in the Vortex Sim Racing car. So that moves Hoffman up into 9th position at this stage, and they are battling 1 minute and 20 seconds right now off of your race leader, Tamas Simon, who leads this one outright, as still every battle looks to find its conclusion. There are 5 laps to go at the line.
Yep, and race pace has certainly dropped off. Fastest lap for Tamas Simon, 144.5. He's currently lapping at 145.3, so not that record pace, but certainly enough to just hold that 30-second gap back to 2nd place quite nicely.
Oh, that's the point here at this stage, Fonty. You're not supposed to be going for fastest lap every single lap. He has got a commanding advantage, which only he can throw away at this point, and he will just quietly consolidate this one and effectively nurse the car home and make sure everything's in check in a race which, by his standards, you would say, Fonty, has had no drama at all. Everything else, though, it's almost like you're walking through the streets and something goes on in the background of the village and something else has happened here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's been a race of ups and downs for a lot of drivers, and if you look at our retirees of the race, there's some Yeah, pretty big names there that were looking pretty good in the championship, and this is certainly going to hurt their championship points. The likes of Jacob Reed, Cedric Beale, Sam Filippo.
It's a massive list of names here, Fonty. So everyone's going to be finding themselves in trouble. Oberslack dropping 2 places then to Brezina and Latuve, who find themselves now going into the final couple corners here. This very tricky chicane off camber through the second part, which always makes it difficult to put that power down as early as you like. But really, the big key to this race has been all about netcode. I have not seen it in iRacing in an event like this so bad in my life before.
Yeah, it is quite bad. iRacing do give us pretty good server quality majority of the time. And yeah, you're certainly right, you don't see it this bad. So I'm sure it's always just a one-off, and the iRacing product is a very, very good product. And yeah, I'm sure that could be just that everyone's decided to jump on the internet tonight, being Good Friday.
Yep, so maybe just everyone just at home, making sure they are having their evening chill, and it's not quite playing out the way that they want to. You can see the puffs of smoke from the locked brakes there on those hard compound tyres. Bit of sparks off the curb there from Jacob Oberslack, who didn't actually find any wall there as he went through. So he's all nicely okay. He's trying to chase down Latuve in the final stages, but the gap's now really starting to form right now. Everyone is just focused on that one thing, which is finishing. And this has been the key to the championship so far. Those who finish get points. Those who finish well get great points.
That's exactly right. Yeah, to finish first you have to finish. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far back down this knocks Jacob Reed from his championship lead. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be able to get his way back up there. And yeah, being number 18 in the field is quite a rare sight to see leading the championship. But he stayed out of trouble the first 2 rounds. This third round wasn't quite the same story. But I'm sure we'll see him come back next week even stronger.
Unscheduled stop, Patrick Latuve, lap 22 of 25. And this does not look ideal for him. He'll drive through the pit, and I'm pretty sure he's either A, looking for his box, or B, serving a penalty, because he is going to be in there for a little bit, I would have thought. There you can see is James Chesters. Now, here is the sort of driver who profits from this. Someone who just can... Oh, spinner in front of him there as he goes through. Who is that? That's Rashad Craig. There goes the podium.
There you go. He'll be absolutely gutted, and that's brought our number 20 car of James Chesters up onto the podium. All he needs to do is stay out of trouble now, and he's got 10 seconds, 8 seconds between himself and Craig, so... Oh, a disappointing moment there for Craig. Just did it all by himself.
You do 22 fantastic laps, put yourself on the podium, and then you go and do that. For Rashad Craig, that is a dagger, if ever you saw one, for a podium that has been robbed. But that was the point I was just starting to make. James Chesters is the sort of driver who is not the quickest when it comes to pace, but when it comes to keeping it out of trouble, he is time and again so good. Like Tamas Simon is leading this race right now with 3 laps to go at this moment in time, the way that he's running. But James Chesters right now is pretty much on course for taking a pretty sizable lead in the championship, if not for Tamas Simon.
There we go. I tell you what, that's fantastic. The last lap by for James Chester is a 146.7. His best lap in this race is a 145.6. So he's 1.2 seconds slower than what our current race leader and second place driver have both done. But, you know, the always shows that just keeping it clean and consistent, you're going to do well in a race like this.
You certainly are. We've still got battles going on towards the end. Hoffman and Sikora are both going to be in pressure here from Andreas Henkel coming to the line as we've got 2 laps to go as Tamas Simon crosses. So Andreas Henkel here just in front of Tamas Simon by about 10 seconds or so. actually, I would say, has a chance to get past Sakura before the end of this race. But of course, time is not going to be on many drivers' sides with not long to go at all.
No, you're exactly right, Sperry. Not long at all to go. Just 1.5 laps for our last lap. 1.5 laps for our race leader, I should say.
Yeah.
Driven an absolutely fantastic drive. He's hasn't put a foot wrong all race and holds a lead of 31 seconds. Still punching out fastest laps of the race, by the way.
He is, and he's the quickest driver on track consistently through every lap right now is Tamas Simon, and it is really a joy to behold seeing a driver of this caliber and skill. At Watkins Glen, he was second best when it came to racing the opening round of the championship. Needed a little bit of help from Ben Fuller finding lap traffic before the pit stop. Or just after Ben Fuller's pit stop. That's what gifted him the race win. No such issues of gifting at this stage. Yes, asterisks, no Ben Fuller here today, but doesn't matter. You race against the field you're given, and he is doing so absolutely flawlessly. Look how balanced the car is.
Oh, you're exactly right. It is extremely balanced, and I reckon he's trying to punch out that record pace here because, yeah, we'll see what this lap's gonna be because the last lap was a 1:44.3, although it didn't register, so he must have had an off track at some point. What is this lap time gonna be? There we go. Just
44.4.
done his 44.4, and that was an official time as well. So very good. Final lap of the race started for Tamas Simon, and a fantastic drive for him. Closest battle on our last lap. We don't really have any close battles anymore.
No, we certainly don't. It's about 2 seconds between Sakura and Jan Hoffman. Andreas Henkel is also 2 seconds back of that. So that one looking to close. They'll have another lap to go yet because Tamas Simon is not going to reach them in time unless he sets blistering world pace. He is running at this stage 2 seconds a lap quicker than Henkel and 3 seconds a lap quicker than the other two right now. But the key has been to this race, keeping it all steady. It's not been the greatest night for the servers. That much we can definitely say at this point in time. But you race what you have in front of you and you keep yourself out of trouble. Drivers like Tamas Simon got themselves a lead early, made sure to build a gap so that they would never have to put themselves in a position where they would be in trouble. And that has been the key to the way we're racing. That gap still closing down, but through the campus corner comes along Tamas Simon. Now through Stavolo, and that charge all the way back towards Blanchemont, pretty much in parallel with the roads of the Liège-Bastogne-Liège Ardennes Classic cycling race. And now through this Blanchemont corner, the big left-hander comes into play. Now you find yourself with the final section, these final chicane, the right and then the left. It is absolute domination. You can't say any other word for it. Tamas Simon has taught the field a lesson. Fastest lap, 1:44.2 to end things out. And only now are we starting to see Tim Delisle make it through for second.
Yeah, there we go. So fantastic stuff there by Tamas Simon and Tim Delisle. He's got to be happy with that race, considering he was caught up in other people's dramas and his own dramas. Yeah, really got to be happy with the result of second place. And our third place getter, well, big clap for him. I'm sure he was not expecting to get on the podium at all. The car number 20, James Chester, he will come home to finish in third place.
James Chester's with a wonderful drive. It will be fourth place then for Rashad Craig, and he will kick the curb after an 11th place start and say, "Go, I had a chance here today." Brandon Powell there with a P5 finish, not bad. And talk about big movers and shakers. 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, all big moving right now. It's still not over, mind you, here for Hoffman, for Sakura and for Henkel. Henkel's really closed up in the final lap. Look at that gap. It's down to 6/4 now of a second. Henkel's got a chance here into the final corner. He's got this one right now. Here comes the line.
He's going to
he wants to try and get it up. He's going to have to go the long way unless this one is defended, but he's a little bit early on the brakes going through. Has he banked on Sakura making a mistake? I think Sakura is just going to be able to scamper home. One more lap needed for Andreas Henkel.
Oh, he's running out of fuel, actually.
Oh,
he ran out of fuel just coming into that last little section there. So, yeah, great recovery drive by him. He was certainly caught up in plenty of accidents or drama tonight. And, yeah, overall, it was a pretty exciting race. Just disappointing that we had a slight server issue.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing how this one really worked out, but the official results are here on screen for you. Tamas Simon picks up the win in 44 minutes and 13 seconds, but take an eye-watering look at the margin of victory. 33.6 over Tim Delisle in second, and Delisle almost had to put himself in full Helio Castro Neves mode. The fact of the matter being he drove under a car during the middle of a spin, still managed to get second place overall. James Chesters, what a big podium this is for him. This will almost certainly put him right up there in the championship picture with that sort of consistent drive. He's one of the few drivers who have got 3 finishes so far here on SimSpeed TV, with Rashad Craig in 4th place and Brandon Powell rounding out the top 5 over a minute down on the race leader. Jan Brzezina started today in 22nd position. He finishes in 7th with a net gain of 15 places, which can only be matched by the driver in 9th. Jan Hoffman up a good 13 of his own, moves into 8th, and it's Radek Sikora who gains those places after not setting a lap time in qualifying. 9th place is still a really good result. Andreas Henkel could have had that 9th place, but the issue being he ran out of fuel, so he'll need to put a little bit more in next time. And hey, look, you can see in the bottom right, they can see Dale Earnhardt Jr. There's the Easter egg with one of the bosses there of iRacing. No, down the page we go. Latuve and Sluiter are finishers 1 lap down. Everybody else is in the retirement hall. Pablo Suarez then finding issues with 6 laps to go. Omar Bahar, Jacob Swiderski, and Danilo Sanfilippo all in trouble on the same lap. 2 separate incidents taking out those 3 drivers who were running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the time. Jacob Reed, the championship leader, having a massive netcode crash over at Blanchimont, really dampened the spirits for his race. Adam Kern getting caught out with incidents there with what was Andreas Henkel. Michael Farbach not in the best place either. And then 5 drivers in trouble on lap 1. Philip Schiff going for a spin at Malmedy corner. Cal Young getting tapped around from behind by one Mr. Pablo Suarez. Anthony Catt, Cedric Beale, and Marco Sanfilippo struggling to even reach the first corner overall. Well, with that then put in the books, hopefully everything will be a little bit nicer and cleaner as we head to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America will be the 4th round of the championship, and one which holds quite a few similarities to this Spa circuit, Font.
Yep, certainly right. It does hold a lot of similarities to the circuit. Nice, big, long, fast, flowing track with some very difficult corners. So, yeah, should be a great race, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of action again, like what we've seen here tonight.
Absolutely, and of course, tonight it's not over and done with us at SimSpeed TV, because you've got to come back about 57 minutes from now. We'll be racing around over at Daytona with the VRS GT Sprint Series, so you want to make sure that you stay around and check that one out. But a massive thanks to those who get it done for us here. Of course, the Virtual Racing School, who have been sponsoring the replays for us here today, providing the data packs and the laps, of course, with Martin Cronke over at VRS Coanda SimSport, and of course, to the team that's been getting it done behind the scenes, from Jay Kennedy on the cameras, Fonty, Scott Fountain, who has been alongside me. My name has been Jake Sperry. Now, ultimately, this race will go down as one where you needed to survive more rather than needed to go out there and battle. Those who drove to survive found themselves with the points that they needed. But, big key, Tamas Simon has just put everybody in the division on notice. 33 seconds. There's only one other driver in the field who can reach that level of consistency. It might be a two-car dogfight for the championship, but with all of the retirements, the other players of the game are finding themselves in prime place. We'll see you a week's time with the Dallara Formula IR series when it comes to Road America, but we'll see you in just under an hour for action at Daytona for VRS GT.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got rid of the outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God! Oh, big crash! Oh my goodness! Half the field's gonna get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?